we now have a primary challenger for Heidi Heitkamp. Oh, this will be interesting. Now, this challenger is a local firefighter and a former Sanders delegate named Dustin Peyer. Now, Peyer is is expected to formally announce his campaign against corporate Democrat Heidi Heitkamp today, actually, at a marijuana reform rally. So, oh, that's interesting. So, happy 420. Here comes Sanders Democrat going after Heidi Heitkamp. Now, what's interesting is he told WDAY the reason that he's running. He said, I'm running for Senate against Heidi Heitkamp. Basically, in my opinion, on the Dem side, we have a really boring primary, and we can't allow that to happen anymore. So basically, this is a guy who's like, well, nobody else is going to run against her. Well, fuck it. I'm going to run against her. Let's do this. I kind of like that spirit. Now, he also noted that his campaign was about recognizing that over 60% of North Dakota caucused in favor of Bernie Sanders on the Democratic side. That's also important. Now, as far as his policies go, well, we'll get into at least what I know, because there's not a lot of information about him, to be honest. Now, some of his Sanders policies he actually might be in favor of, again, since he caucused for Bernie Sanders. Now, Peyer is a married father of two and a graduate of Washburn High School. Now, he said to WDAY, I am for simpler government. I'm a big supporter of getting rid of the blue laws in the state. That kind of mentality. Now, he says, I think the states are more powerful than the federal government. We should be reliant on our own laws and doing things on our own terms, and the state should trickle that down to the township level. So he seems like, at least when it comes to states' rights, he's a little bit more conservative on that. Basically saying, hey, we should make our own rules. Okay. That's not a bad thing. Now, he mentioned blue laws, and what the hell's a blue law? Well, apparently it's where you can't operate stores on Sunday. And there are, yeah, North Dakota seems to have some of these blue laws. Okay, well, that's very interesting. So, yeah, I would be in favor of getting rid of that. I actually had to look it up, which is crazy. Now, again, it's ridiculous, right? Now, he also said on policy, when it comes to health care, he is in favor of Medicaid for all. There was nothing on Medicare for all. I'd like to ask him about that. But he says Medicaid for all. He thinks the insurance companies have too much influence in politics. I agree with that. And that he's got a personal experience with Medicaid, and it was actually a good experience. He said that his son, Noah, which is 60 years old, was born with premature heart and lung problems. Noah's costs have been previously covered by Medicaid, which Peyer describes as a helpful support that ought to be available to everyone. Okay, hey, great. Every child should have that opportunity and have these options. Okay, so that sounds like somebody, I believe, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, if he ever sees this, that he might be in favor of Medicare for all. Medicaid for all, great. Medicare for all, even better. So, now something else he's in favor of that we would agree on is campaign finance reform. Now, he's also attacked Heitkamp for taking big donations. At a national level, he argued that both Heitkamp and Senator Representative Kevin Cramer, the Republican who also might seat that Senate seat, have both received donations affiliated from PACs affiliated with DTE Energy, Aetna, which is an insurance company, and other big donors. He says, do you think that when the same super PACs give to the same parties, do we have a two-party system? He said, proposing a $250,000 cap on the fundraising per election cycle for candidates. Now, he's running as a Democrat, but I think he's more of a nonpartisan. He's running on the nonpartisan, I believe, league, the NPL Democrats. So, okay. So, he's more of a, I guess, more of an independent than anything else. That makes sense. Now, that makes it think that he might be open to getting money out of politics completely. And if so, well, then that would be something for maybe the Justice Democrats to look into. Somebody for the Justice Democrats to look into. Now, he also argues that marijuana regulation should be left to the states and says that tax benefits of legalizing marijuana in hemp industries would be significant. Asked if he was running, just so Heitkamp could have a primary opponent, he added that it kind of started out that way, but said that voters are also unhappy with Heitkamp's support of some of Trump's nominees. He says as more people come out and say they're going to support me, it really isn't changing, or it's really changing. You start looking at there are people who aren't convinced the way she voted on Trump's nominees. Okay, so yeah, if you are against Trump's nominees, well, it would make sense. Because she has voted for more of Trump's nominees, I think, than anybody else. So, turns out that when you do that, people get kind of pissed. I mean, not only that, but people are angry at DAPL, which Heitkamp supports. People are angry at Money in Politics, again, which Heitkamp supports. And look, she's a very corporatist Democrat. Then it turns out that people don't like corporatist Democrats. People don't like corporatist Republicans either. Especially when it comes to the state level. Now, referring to Sanders supporters during the 2016 election, Peyer argued that those people need a voice. Well, I couldn't agree more. Now, I think he might get more support if he comes out a little clearer, a little stronger on some of Sanders' positions, and maybe he already has, and I just haven't seen that. But from what I see, he seems to be a lot better than Heidi Heitkamp. Now, a lot of people, outlets that have written about this, have said, oh, what a long shot candidate. Well, maybe. Or maybe not. Who knows? They always put out that narrative. Now, if you get support of, again, the Justice Democrats, and if you support Medicare for all, getting rid of money out of politics completely, then that might help you a lot. Which, again, he might have already said that stuff, and I just don't know about it. But it sounds like, to me, at least, and I could be wrong, that he might be open to these positions. We'll see. Now, he also says he plans on not taking any corporate money, but just doing a campaign by running on only small donations. And that, of course, I 100% approve of. So I think there's a little bit of promise here when it comes to this candidate. And I'm going to keep my eye on this guy. I'm going to see how this race progresses. And I think maybe if you live in North Dakota, you should also take a look at this guy. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.